Good morning, guys. Let us get started. Okay. So, in the last class, we looked at about the singleton design pattern and the ways to break the singleton design pattern. We have seen through the multi-threading, and then we have seen through deserialization. Okay, someone tell me what is a process? What is a serialization? What is deserialization?
So converting object into bytes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So converting object into bytes is nothing but a serialization. The reverse process is nothing but deserialization.
Yeah. How can I do the serialization in Java? What are the prerequisites?
The class should be serialized.
I mean, what does it mean?
So it is a marker interface.
It should inherit a marker interface.
Yeah, implement the marker. Yeah, serializable interface. And then what is the class or method which does the serialization? Write object method is the one which is responsible to convert the given object into a series of bytes. Am I right? Yes or no? Yeah. So what is the difference between a compilation and serialization?
Compilation is converting .java file to .class file.
Mm-hmm.
Serialization is in order to take that class to some other JVM, or in order to store the class to persistency to the data to the hard disk, we do need to do the serialization.
Yeah. So serialization for a particular object. Compilation is for a class. So whenever you are doing a compilation, it will convert the .java file into .class file, which will hold the byte code. Okay, but that is belongs to a class. Whereas, so in this class, I have created three objects: S, S1, S2. Now inside the singleton pattern, I have a variable called name. Now let me not to initialize this. Okay. Now what I can do now, S dot name equal to Karthik, I will keep. S1 dot name equal to Harish. S2 dot name equal to Shankar. That means, can I say three objects are having the name value as different?
Yes, yes.
Now, whenever I do the serialization S, am I doing S1 and S2? Only S I'm doing. That means specific object of a class I'm doing. So serialization belongs to an object, not for a class. So that is the reason one important question or concept is what happens to the static variables after deserialization, correct? Because static variables will be belongs to a class. So static variables, you cannot deserialize it or you cannot serialize it. So if I have a static variable in a singleton design pattern, sorry, not singleton, wherever there is a static variable, the static variable, you cannot deserialize it. Whatever the value that is holding, that will be called as, that will be given as an output of a deserialization. Okay. Yeah.
So now that means in that JVM, whatever is their existing value, that will be
that means whenever you see class static variable will be loaded during the class, correct? Class loading time. So here, what is the value of this single static design pattern S variable? It's null. So after deserialization, it will give you null. Now, for example, if I let us take static int emp id. Now, if I do deserialization, what is the value of employee ID?
0.
Okay. If I do deserialization, what is the value of employee ID? It is not 0. It is 1, 2, 3. The reason is the value of a static variable after deserialization is nothing but whatever the value that you have initialized. During the deserialization also, what is happening? What is meant by deserialization? It is creating an object. Whenever it is creating an object, the class will be loaded. Am I right? So whenever the class is loaded, static variable gets initialized, right? So whatever the value, if the static variable is initialized, then that initialized value will be nothing but a deserialization value. Okay.
Okay, okay. So let's say already class is loaded by the time you do deserialization. So whatever the value it is holding, that value will be the
Yes,
static.
yes. So generally people will say that if I have, if it's an int, it's a 0. If it's a name, it's a null. If it's a double salary, then 0.0 they will be answering. But the right thing is, whatever the value that you are initializing to that static variable. If you don't initialize the static variable, then default value of a data type. But if I initialize, then see, let's look at here. Now, let me do this out. See, this is not, nothing belongs to this one, guys. I just wanted to tell you since the topic has come. Okay. Now, S4.employee ID. Now let us do the serialization and then let us do the deserialization. Nice Java application. Okay, let me remove the read resolve method, correct? If I keep the read resolve method, the new object will not be created. See, what is the output line number 42? 1, 2, 3, correct? That means is the static value gets serialized? No. Now, how can I say that? Now, what I will do before this one. So, in the S object, what is the object I'm trying to serialize? S. Before that, I will change the static value. S dot emp id equal to 456. Can I do? Yes, static variable class name followed by. Now, if I have to say that static variable is getting serialized, that means I'm modifying this value. This modified value should come here, correct?
Correct.
Now let us see. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Static 1, 2, 3.
I think in this case, class is already loaded. We'll get 4, 5, 6.
No, it should not. Let us look at this. Okay, sorry. After the serialization, sorry. Let us run. Sorry, it is not giving you the, okay. Okay, don't worry. I will look at this. And I'll tell you guys. But the static values will not be serialized. That means even if you modify the value, whatever is there during the loading time, that only will be displayed. I will just look at it, why it is not happening instead of wasting time here. And I'll come back to this one in the tomorrow class. Okay. Now,
can you please just repeat that? What is for resolve? I just forgot.
In order to, so whenever you are doing the deserialization, the new object will be created, correct? That means I'm not following the singleton design pattern concept. So in order, if whenever you override the read resolve method, what happens in the read resolve method? I'm not creating an object. It is giving you the object that is already present. Hence, I'm not creating a new object. That is what we are doing the s.hash code.
Oh, this is to fix the serialization process.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at the other part of reflection. Okay. So why are we talking about reflection is in the singleton design pattern, we have a private constructor. So the private constructor can be called using a reflection. If you are writing a normal way of writing a code, then this private constructor cannot be called and no one can create an object outside of a class. But this private constructor can be called within using a reflection. So whenever you are doing that one, now let us see how to do the reflection. So in order to use the reflection, there are some predefined methods in the class called class. So look at here. In the java.lang package, there is a class called class. This is a class, correct? Now, in this one, there are some methods called get, declared, construct, declared fields. So this get declared fields will return you, or using this get declared fields, you can access the private methods. Using the get declared method, you can access the private methods. Get declared constructor, you can access the private constructors. So these three methods are present in the class called class. Now, by accessing those methods, I will be able to call the private constructor. Let us look at here. Dot get declared constructor. Get declared constructor. Now, what does it is returning? It is declaring, it is returning a constructor object. Okay, now let us keep the constructor. Let me add the annotations of singleton design pattern because it is returning that object. Now S7 equal to. Let me add class. Okay, let me, there is, okay. Okay, single get declared constructor. Instead of S plural, I'm assuming only one is there. Add throws. It is no such method exception because it may found or may not found. Okay, now, so using this line, now later I have to add one more method called set accessible equal to true. Whenever you say set accessible equal to true, then you will be able to call the private constructor. Now S7 dot new instance. S7 dot new instance. By calling the new instance method, it will give you the new object. What is that new object? Singleton pattern. Yeah. So now let us look at the hash code for this one. If I look at the hash code, let us see. What is the S9 dot hash code and what is the S dot hash
I
code?
think this dot class is a object variable or what this is? Singleton design pattern dot class you mentioned, right?
So yeah, it's a keyword. In order to access the methods within the present in a class, you are using a class keyword. See, look at here in the all, if you look at this color, what does it mean? It's a keyword, right? Public, class, public, static, void.
Correct, correct.
So in order to use the methods that are present in a class called class, so what kind of this method is this one?
Okay.
It's an instance method. In order to access an instance method, you need an object, correct? By calling this one, it gets an object of this class because see, now the question is, sir, this is a instance method. In order to access this instance method, what do you need?
Class.
Object, right? Generally. Instance method, how do you call? Static method, you will use a class name. For instance method, you will use an object, correct?
Correct.
Now, if I have to use it, can I say that I have to, before this one, I need to create an object like
Correct.
this?
Correct.
But can I, if I, in this class, I have a private constructor, can I do like this?
You can't do that.
Then what is the another way to say, in order to access this one, I need an object, but I cannot create an object, right?
Correct.
So that means it's a deadlock situation, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Now, what is the other way to access these methods? First of all, why are you using for a reflection? You have some private properties. When I say private property, it can be a method, it can be a variable, it can be a constructor. But this method is not a static. If it is a static, you should have used to use a class name.
Correct.
But these are instance method, but you cannot create an object. The way to create is by mentioning this one. That means this internally will have a logic to create an object of this and then call. Like, whether it creates an object or how it does, it doesn't matter to us. But it will call on top of this object, it will call this method, correct? And this will give you how many, see, declared constructor means it will give you, there is a plural also. Constructor is there, constructors is there. So what, see here, to this constructor, if you pass the parameters, can I have multiple constructors?
Yes.
Now, what is the difference of whenever you are creating a multiple constructor? What is the difference between those constructors?
The parameters.
Yeah. So when I see so here in this one, am I passing any parameters?
No.
If I don't pass anything, can I say that with the class name, what this constructor should be called? Yes or no? So if I pass one, see, look at here, the method itself is telling if you are using get constructors, it will give you all the private constructors array. Okay. But if I want to call the specific one, I can pass the arguments. Now currently, since I do not have any arguments, I am not passing anything.
Okay.
So
it's a special syntax basically. Dot class is a special syntax.
Yeah, because these are the instance method. Why are you? How can you call the instance method by an object? But we are not able to create an object. But this is the way to.
So this will always return a class related object.
Yes.
Okay. Dot class.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So now, so these all will be covered in core Java. Don't worry about those. Yeah. Guys, I hope all of you have joined the WhatsApp group. Were you all present in the WhatsApp group, guys?
Yes, sir.
Do we have, okay, let's quickly look at that, guys. Because if I share the notes, then I don't know whether it will reach you guys or not. So how many are there? 12, but I see only 7, but there are 10 participants. 11 participants totally. There are 12 participants only, guys.
Yeah, sir. Yes, I have to yet to register it actually.
Okay.
I have not done that registration. I will do today or tomorrow, sir.
Yeah. So guys, whoever is not yet registered, if you are interested, you can please do the registration because you will be added to the WhatsApp group. Okay. Then you will be allowed to the upcoming classes as well. Okay. Now let us look at here. Set accessible equal to true. Then it will allow to call the private constructor. Now let us run the program and see the output. See here, what is the output of this s1.hash code, s2.hash code, s.hash code? This one. Now, can I say that different hash code I got? Yes or no?
Yes.
So that means, am I breaking the singleton design pattern?
Yeah, it is broken.
Yeah. So that means this is one of the way to break the singleton design pattern using reflection. Okay. Now, in order to fix it, so whenever you say using reflection, what are you calling? Private constructor is getting called, correct?
So what is the third line? I mean, now you created just can you please go through?
Using the new instance method. Inside this one, there is a new instance method. This is responsible to call the constructor.
Oh, that is a part of the class object, right?
Yeah. It is. This is a reflection topic. If you once go through the reflection topic, then you will understand set accessible.
This is basically this new instance is a method from the class object. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now I have to limit this one. So then what is this new instance using this reflection? What you are calling? I'm calling the private constructor. And what I will do, if the value is s not equal to null, whenever it is coming to this one, I will throw the exception. Throw new exception. That means I'm not allowing to create an object, correct? Let us add the throws keyword, and wherever it is used, we need to add a throws keyword. Now let us run the program. Throws. See, now am I allowing to create an object? Whenever you're there whoever is trying to access this my private constructor using the reflection, am I allowing?
No,
I'm not allowing, correct? That means the object, no new object will not be created, correct? Here, the people might say that, sir, instead of not allowing, can you return the same instance that is created? But can you return anything from the constructor?
No, we can't.
Constructor is something which does not have a return type. So that's the reason we are throwing an exception, correct?
But is that exception will not be thrown when we are, creating for the first time?
So if it is thrown, then how come you get a hash code here? How this hash code is coming? From these three lines, correct? Now, if you look at here, whenever this is calling the get instance method, what is happening? S equal to null. Whenever it is null, you are creating an object, correct? Now, whenever you're creating an object, so what is the code I have written? S not equal to null only. For the first time, is the reference is null? Yes, null not equal to null. Is it true? No, it will not come. So whenever there is an object already present and you're trying to create one more object, then only I will throw the exception, right? So if I don't write like this condition, then as you mentioned, it will be thrown every time. Not even a single object will be created, correct? But I am not writing like that. I am checking a condition. If at least one object is present, and second time whenever they are calling, I am throwing the exception, correct? Okay. This will be executed only
null,
when.
That's why.
Yeah. This condition will be executed only when you're trying to create an object from the second time onwards. Because first time S value will be null because my global variable is, what is the value of global variable? Null. First time S not equal to null, correct? Is it true? No, it will not execute. Second time onwards, null, it's a value of null, correct? It is not null, sorry. Second time onwards, it is not null. So not null means the condition is true and it will throw the exception.
Okay.
Hope you understand, guys. Anyone? Any questions? Does anyone has any questions? Okay, thanks, guys. Now let us look at the another topic called cloning. So in Java, through cloning also we can create an object, right? Now, let us comment this one for time. Okay, let's. Okay. Now the entire code will be shared with you guys once everyone joins the WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, so can someone tell me how can I do a clone object? What are the different types of clonings are present in Java?
Shallow cloning and deep cloning.
What is exactly the difference?
In one case, in shallow cloning, the reference will not be copied. Suppose there is another field in a particular class. Let's say there is a employee class and there is an address field. That address field will not be cloned within a employee class, if I am right. And in deep cloning, the fields are also cloned.
Example, like you have a list, like array list or anything, you need to copy each and every, you have to create a new array list and then copy, add every element. Otherwise, when you are removing in the original one, it will be removed in the another one also if you don't do a deep copy.
Okay, let me take an example and ask you the question. Okay, now let us see, I have an employee class. Okay, in the employee class, I have a integer variable, string variable. Now, if I am doing clone, now, and then after doing clone, so first I created an object, employee E equal to new employee. I'm writing for time being shortcut, guys, please understand. Now I'm keeping the employee ID as 123, 124, name is Karthik. Now if I do clone, then after cloning, I will get a new employee object. Is it right? Yes or no? E dot clone. Okay, now what I will do, E dot set emp ID equal to, I will change it to 678. Now in the clone, E1 dot clone. Sorry. Now I'll try to print sysout E1 dot employee ID. What is output in this example?
678.
Okay. What else? Others? What does the other will
No,
say?
124.
Okay. Why 124?
Because we got a new copy, and in the new copy we have the when we changed only after cloning only we changed the value.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now let us draw this.
And these are integer types, like not like reference things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Primitive.
Yeah.
Primitive will get a copy.
Okay. Let me show you that. Now, whenever you create a heap memory, so employee object is created 1, 2, 3, and Karthik it is holding 1, 2, 4. Okay, Karthik. Now, whenever I say clone, it will create one more object. Yes, E1 will be instantiated with 1, 2, 4, and then name is Karthik. Later, what you are changing after cloning, you are changing this one here 4, 5, 6. Will it reflect in the cloned object? No, because these two are
Different objects.
like different objects and pointing to the different memory location. So that's the reason you don't get a value as 678 because you are setting modifying the value of an original object after cloning. But whenever you clone, it will create a different memory. Now let us create inside this department. Apart from int string, I have employee. I have another object called department. And this department have department ID 123. So let me take 09 is the department ID. Now this employee constructor is taking a department object. So before that, I need to create a department object. Department D equal to new department of 09. Okay. Now this department object. So this is a DEP ID. Department, there is a class called department and it has a department variable. Now this department reference is present in the employee class. Now, whenever I'm creating an employee constructor, I will pass the department object. So like this, because before the employee object, I created a department object and then department object, I'm passing it here. Okay. Now I will do the cloning. After that, what I will do d dot set DEP ID equal to 07. Now I will try to print it. What happens? Sys out E1 dot D dot, sorry, E1 dot D dot DEP ID. What is the value? Can someone tell me? Is it 07 or 09?
I think it will be 07.
Why? Why not 09?
Because the department reference, whatever is cloned, the reference is cloned, but not the object of the department.
So the concept here is, whenever you're creating, so earlier we have a primitive variables or the wrapper classes. Then it will create a separate memory. Now inside the E, you have a department. Whenever you say department, this is a department object and department is holding 123. Sorry, 09 first. Okay. Now this reference, you are pointing it here. Correct? Done. Now whenever you're cloning, what happens? Cloned object will be created. In this also, you will have a D reference. And it will also pointing to this memory. Now, whenever you are changing here, after cloning, what you are doing, you are changing it here. Now, can I say 07? From 09 to 07, you have changed. Now, the department reference you are changing, but can I say that original object, cloned object are both are referring it to the same memory location. Hence, even though after you are modifying in the original object, is getting reflected in the cloned object also, correct? So this is called shallow cloning. This is the cloning that by default Java follows. Now, what is a deep cloning? Deep cloning means even though if you modify in the original department object, it should not be reflected. Then what you need to do in the clone method, whenever you are calling clone, see, can I say, now for example, s1.clone. Okay, I do not have, I have to override the method. So in order to do the cloning, what you need to do, clone method you need to call. In the clone method, we will write a code in such a way that we are not touching, whenever your clone object is created, so original object first will have 09. And whenever the new object is getting created, if there is a reference type like this, then it will create one more memory for this D. And then it will point to this one. It will not point to the original one. Now, if I change it here, 07, will it reflect in the cloned object? No. This is called deep cloning. The difference between a shallow cloning and deep cloning in Java is only for the reference type. One object is having a reference of other, then shallow cloning, what it will do, if you modify the original object, cloned object will have a modified value. But in the deep cloning, if you modify the original object, whenever you have an object reference, it will not get reflected in the cloned object. The reason is it will use a separate memory. So how do we do that? We will write a code in the clone method. Okay. Now let us look at here. Now, if I want to do the cloning, what should I do, guys? First thing.
Override clone method.
Okay. Let's do the clone method. I have overridden. Okay. Now, return.super.clone means what it follow in the object. First of all, where is the clone method present?
In the object class.
In object
Okay.
class.
Okay. When I say return super.clone, it will call the object class clone method.
Which is shallow copy.
It follows the shallow copy. Just now we have seen already the shallow copy means it will give you the same, like new object, correct? For reference type, it's different. For normal things, it will create an object. But in the singleton pattern, I should not allow. Am I right? I should return the same object that is present. Can I say return S? Yes or no? In this way, Am I calling the shallow? Am I creating a new object? No, I'm returning the same object. Now, but let us look at whether I will get a copy of clone. S dot clone. Okay, now let me write the run the code and see. We are missing something. Let us see what we are missing. If anybody is identifying, let me know what we missed. Now let me run the code. Sys out s10 dot hash code. Okay. See, am I getting a new object first of all? For example, let me not to do this one. Let me call return super dot clone only. Okay. Now. See, am I why am I getting an exception? First of all,
Because of the, I think, constructor.
okay, no, not a constructor. And what is, if it is a constructor, then in the constructor, what exception I am throwing? Some exception I am throwing. But here, what object I am getting? Clone not supported exception. When I will get a clone not supported?
Because that clone object contains already data.
Yeah,
Right.
Amit, you are right. So no, we need to
Interface is not
implement.
implement.
Yeah, we need to implement a interface called clonable, correct? Sorry, not here, not here. Whichever the class you want clone method to be. So implements clonable. Clonable is a marker interface, guys. So whenever you want to do the cloning, you need to implement a clonable interface. So does the clonable interface has any methods? No, it does not have any method. It is called marker interface. Now, then the question comes,
Like serializable.
yeah. So then the question comes, why am I overriding the clone method? So in just now, someone answered that in the clone method is present in the object class. So when it is on object class, I should have accessed directly, correct? So let me comment this one. Let me comment this one and then try. See in this, see, when I comment, I am getting a clone method. Why am I getting an exception? Because someone said just now said that clone method is already present in an object class. Then why I should not get a compilation error, correct? Because my singleton pattern class, what is the parent for this singleton pattern? Pattern is an object class. So I should be able to access the object class method. But why am I not able to access it? Just think about it, simple one. Let me open this method. See, I have opened the object class method also. Look at here, object class clone method. Why am I getting a compilation error?
Because that is throwing an exception.
No.
You should,
It does
you
not,
should
see,
handle it.
whenever it throws an exception, it does not mean that you have to get an exception, right?
No, we should be handling that exception.
No, it is not right answer.
Sir,
Any other?
sir, it is
See,
a
I
native method which is from C language, I think.
Okay, no. See here, someone said that it is throwing, we need to access it. But I am getting a compilation error, correct? I need to handle an exception means it is at runtime. I am not even running the program. Why it is throwing me the compilation error? It is not telling you, you have not accessed the class not found. Look at here. My throws is having an exception. It's a parent type. So that means, can I say that I have handled by throws
you
keyword?
yeah, you handled it. You should not do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Rachana. You are right. It's a protected queue. So here, what is the method? Clone method. What type of access modifier it has? Protected. What is the accessibility of a protected method? In the same package, same
Yes.
class, you can access it anywhere. If it's a different package, you can access in terms of inheritance only. Correct? Now, what is the package of object class? Java.lang package. What is the package of your singleton design pattern? com.ashokit.design pattern. Can I say that these two are different packages?
Yeah,
Yes or no?
Yes,
Then
different.
there should be a inheritance relationship, correct? So between singleton pattern and then object class, there is an inheritance relationship. But are you creating an object in this class? No, you are creating an object in the test class. So that's the reason this clone method is not visible. So if you override this one here, if you override the clone method here, now what are you doing if you override the clone method? in the singleton design pattern class, you have a protected clone method. Yes. And where are you accessing that one? In the test class. Where is the test class? Test class is in same package, and singleton design pattern is also in the same package. Hence, will you be able to see the protected method? Yes. So this is the reason why we need to override the clone method, because in the object class, the clone method is a protected method. Hope you understand, guys. Now let us run the code. Now let us run the code and see the hash code. See, are you getting a different hash code?
Yes.
Now that means, can I say that I have broken the singleton design pattern using cloning?
Yes.
Yeah. So now in order to fix it, now where should I write the code, guys? Just think about it. Where should I modify the code?
The same thing that a clone overridden.
So whenever you are calling the clone, so by default you're calling super.clone, means it is following the shallow cloning. What does the shallow cloning will do? Always it will create a new object, right? And then internally, if you have a reference, then it will point it to the original object only, correct? So, but I don't want to do this one. I don't want to call the parent class clone method behavior. I want to return, say either two things I can do. I should not allow anyone to call the clone method. Then directly I can throw new clone not supported exception, correct? This is the way I'm not allowing anyone to create an object. The other way, let them call, but I will give the same object that is already created, correct? Like this. If I do S, that means from here, the control is not going to the object class, and I'm returning the object that is already present. Now let us run the program and see. See, I got the same hash code. That means I have limited. I mean, like I'm not creating a new object. This is how we need to fix it. Can someone tell me what is another protected method that is present in the object class apart from clone? I'll give you the one hint that gets called during the garbage collection.
Finally.
Finalize, not finally, it's a finalize. So if you look at here, finalize is another method which is protected. That is the reason whenever you are doing the garbage collection, you need to override the finalize method. Why are you overriding it? Because it's a protected one, right? Yeah. Any questions? So this is another way to, like, we just now broken the singleton pattern using a cloning, and then we fixed it. So this is about a singleton design pattern. Now, where can you use in the real-time project? As I mentioned, what is a class in Java that follows the singleton? Runtime. The best example is runtime. There is a class called runtime. How can you get a runtime instance? Runtime.getRuntime. Runtime is a class in Java by calling the runtime.getRuntime method. Look at here, it has a private constructor. And see, it is not implementing a serializable clonable. So no one can do the clone method. See, in this one, do you have a clone method? No. That means they cannot fix it. They cannot call it. Okay. Directly they are returning. See, do I need to do the double checked locking here? Not required, because I'm creating a double checked locking comes into picture only when you're doing the lazy initialization, correct? But here in the runtime class, are they following the lazy initialization? No. They're following eager initialization. So you don't need, right? So this is the best example of singleton pattern in Java. What is that? Runtime. Runtime is a class which is example for singleton design pattern. Now, where can you use this singleton pattern in the real-time applications is whenever you are doing a database connection, or whenever you are reading something from the property file, or best another thing is logger. If you go to logger, so logger before in the global variable itself, logger.get logger. So in the java.util logger L equal to logger dot get logger here. See, let's look at this get logger. See, I'm using a java.util.logger, guys. So there are some other third-party tools also which provides the logger functionality that also follows the singleton design pattern. Now let's go to this get logger method, or see here. It is what is the get logger method is returning? Logger object only, correct? Say return logger.get logger. So it is giving you the object only, right? Now why I should not be able to call this logger equal to new logger? Logger L equal to new logger. Am I allowed? I'm getting a compilation error. What does it mean?
It must be private.
Yeah, let us look at here. Private or the constructor something, right? Now let us look at. Yeah, whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. Yeah, look at here. These are the protected. Look at here. Okay. So, so here currently it is a util java.util.logger, guys. But no one will use in the real-time projects, we don't use java.util.logger. So we use the logger from the third-party jars like Apache Commons, something. Because if you are using a java.util.logger, the performance issue might come. So in order to overcome that issue, we go for a Apache Commons jar. So what you can do from your project, just do Control F, get instance method. You can see what is the best example. In the last class also I told about that. Did anyone get a chance to look at that in your project? Where and all you are using a get instance method?
Yes, sir. Whatever libraries and class which is provided by the client, if you want to access those class, we are using that method.
Yeah. Now when you go for an interview, they will be asking what is the place that you have used a logger in your project, correct? Now will you be able to answer that?
Yes.
So then what you can do is just look out the functionality. Now you're saying that wherever we are using a client method, right? He may not be able to understand that. So what you can do, there may be a functionality around it, right? You're calling some other module, some method, etc. So you keep that in the functional terms, then explain. So one standard example is logger, reading the data from the property file or creating a database connection. These three are the standard examples you can provide them. And from your project code, you can also get that information and then you can explain that.
Okay, sir.
So that's all for the singleton design pattern, guys. So tomorrow, I think like the admin will be creating a Zoom link today. If anybody, so already all the enrolled candidates, I see that you have added to the WhatsApp group. So you will be notified with a new Zoom link through email or message. Okay, and those who did not enroll it, if you are interested, please do the enrollment today. Does anyone has any questions on enrollment?
No, sir. Sir, one point, like actually, like in the clone method, you have added like a super dot like clone method, right? So
yes.
it will not go to the constructor.
Because super dot clone means what is meaning of super? Parent class, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If object class constructor, it will go. But there itself, it has a logic to create a new object. But I'm not limiting that. Right? So whenever you say return S, I'm not allowing that. Correct? I'm returning the object. See here, if I write super dot clone, it is going to the object class. In the object class, there is a mechanism. So by looking at this clonable interface, the JVM will understand that the user wants to create a new object, right? But I'm not allowing them to that object to go to the parent class. So here itself I'm limiting. So that's the reason. This is how I'm limiting the object creation. Okay. You can throw the exception or you can return the object that is already created.
Yeah. Okay. Because in the constructor right now you have written not S not equal to.
No, that is what. No, see, return super dot clone. So I'm not calling a constructor, right? The default code here is super dot clone. That means super means what? Parent class. What is the parent? Object. In the object class clone method, it will go, correct?
Yes.
And it's a native method. For this one, native method means the implementation will be there in the operating system. It doesn't matter about your constructor, correct?
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Might be so even though your constructor is private, in the operating system, it is creating an object means it might use the what you call reflection concept only there. Because that is the only way to call the private constructor, correct?
Yeah.
So anyway, we are talking about this clone. In case we want to do deep cloning, we have to manually.
Whenever
department.
cloning means,
right?
yeah. So deep cloning means whenever you are overriding the clone method, if you are writing, see, I have overridden the clone method and I will write super dot clone. Does it termed as a deep cloning?
No, no. After this, we have to create a department object and all. If at
Yes,
all.
yes. So whenever you are overriding the clone method, it does not mean that you are following the deep cloning. After overriding the clone method, you don't do return dot super dot clone. Okay, you write your own object. Like for example, in the earlier case, what I do, so I have to take the employee, right? From the
Correct.
employee, again I will create a department object, and then I will set the data from the employee object to the department object. So that is the code you need to write in the clone method.
Okay. And second thing, just wanted to know, because we talked about finally, I just wanted to know, in real-time projects, do we really need to use anywhere finally? Or
No, not
it is
finally, it's a finalize, right? You're talking about a
finalized.
garbage. Yeah. No, generally we don't use it because garbage collection runs automatically.
So in real-time projects also we never use, right?
No, no. Because you do not know at what point of time you need to remove the memory, right? That's the reason garbage collection is called daemon thread. Daemon thread is nothing but a thread which executes in the background.
Okay.
So see, can you say in your project every first of the month the garbage collection will run? Can you guarantee that?
No, you can't do that.
No, automatically Java takes care of that, correct?
Okay, yeah.
So how it take care of that? Whenever the Java, whenever your server, all these things are running, so it automatically, JVM automatically creates a thread. That background execution thread is nothing but a garbage collection.
Correct.
So the thread that is executing in the background is called as a daemon thread. One of the daemon thread is nothing but a garbage collection.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Good.
So that's all for today, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Whoever want to register it, I hope all of you have received an email from the Ashok IT, right? The one who are not registered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you are interested, you can you can do the enrollment, and from the next classes onwards, you will be able to join it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. And I also teach data structures in the morning 7:30 a.m. If anybody is interested, let us know. We will, you can join that too. In the email that you have received, there is instructions to join or go through the videos of data structures as well. If you are interested, you can enroll for data structures as well. And whatever the classes are completed, you will be provided with the videos. And then if you need anything, I will be able to take the backup classes as well. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. Thank you.